Welcome back, everybody. I know you guys saw that banger of a matchup down on Lotus for that map 1, but we're moving on to, of course, a map 2 over to Split Marks, which is, of course, BTR fan club's pick. And I think it's going to serve them a little bit well, more well than it did going down to Lotus there.
Yeah, I mean, also, too, just kind of thinking back onto Lotus, Crime City just looked immaculate, to say the least. I mean, every single time you could tell that BTR fan club, they were trying to set up some of their traps, trying to set up some of their plays, and Crime City were just like, hey, we've got flashes. Let's just kind of run in there and look in all the right directions, and on top of that, too, line up our shots, and we're going to be looking just dandy.
Yeah, it was a good game on the side of CC, to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting it to be so dominant on their side. I thought we were going to get a pretty good close look at what the close matchup was going to be, but it just felt like on CC's side, like, honestly, every single piece of movement they were doing, the composition in general, right? Like the constants, the thing I really liked the most was like back on that defense, we did get to see a bit of that movement as to switching where the Killjoy was, right? Moving that double duelist composition, having that Reyna actually work well with the Gecko. And it was things like this that honestly took this game by storm.
Yeah, I mean, you could just tell the overwhelming fury that we saw Crime City come into this matchup with. They were consistently on the defense, swinging out 3 people like, hey, I got my pals, we're going to have a good time. And then just outgunning BTR round after round. I mean, look at the first kills, but then when things swapped around on their attack, they brought that same level of aggression back. And with how their composition was built around, of course, having that double duelist like you were talking about, you would expect that level of play, but just BTR, they couldn't find any way, any meaningful way really to stall them out. Even when they were trying to play off their utility, didn't really matter. Crime City were doing a fantastic job at just playing it slow and then pushing in together.
Yeah, I would have to say that. And there were moments where I really did see some potential come through from BTR on the attack there. Again, like the consistent pushes coming down towards A. Of course, it didn't work out the way they wanted it to, but it was because of that movement where that Raze was playing with that Omen on the side of the A site there from CC. So you're kind of trying to compare and contrast these things and look at, okay, where did things go wrong? I really do think it was just more positives for CC, like you said before. So again, great game. I am looking forward to seeing how they're going to utilize these agents and kind of pair them up again, because it was spectacular. Like on the defense, again, I'm just going to highlight this. Using the Dizzy with that Leer was such a smart play because you had so much to focus on that it almost felt impossible to run away with the kill.
Yeah, I mean, once again, you know, sure, you can play all the aim labs in the world, but you're not going to be able to shoot one side, the other side, and then the agent's running in front of you. And so it was honestly just a masterclass of how to play aggressively coming in from Crime City there. But of course, Gobbers, we got to talk about map number 2, which is going to be Split coming into this one. We don't have Crime City's stats on this map particularly, but we do have one matchup from BTR Fan Club where they looked really well. But if the history does show itself, then we can expect actually now BTR Fan Club to run with the double duelist on Split.
It looked pretty good, in my opinion, when we saw it on Lotus. I'm hoping it looks good again. We're going to head over to that agent select, though, so we can see what exactly is going on. I know you guys are antsy to get into the game, as am I. But, yeah, looking like pretty accurate on your side. That Jet and Raze that they're running. No double duelist on the side of Crime City this time, but they do have a pretty interesting double controller going on.
Yeah, and actually, this is really interesting. We don't get to see really Astra get that much play anymore, and I do think that Split is one of those maps where Astra really does work out. But on the other side, something I do need to highlight here is BTR Fan Club are coming into this one without a Sentinel. It's very common that you would usually see like a Cypher or something, just be able to lock down some of those angles to make sure that you've got control of the map. You know where some of these agents are going to be going around. You're not going to be getting any kills off the trips, but as long as it's there, then you know they aren't pushing through mid, for example. BTR Fan Club, they're gonna more or less play probably using that Viper to be hanging back, play a little bit more of that Sentinel role, and just play for stall potential, especially with the snake bites, you know, really just zoning things out. I do like the Omen pick here. I think Omen, quite frankly, is one of my favorite agents in the game, and so I think that Omen has a lot of flexibility coming into this one. But it's that Raze and Jet that I'm hoping to see BTR be a little bit more consistent at attacking and a little bit more consistent with their speed, and hopefully they're going to be able to run over whatever Crime City has for them on this defense.
I'm honestly looking to see some pretty heavy mid control as well on the side of the defense, maybe. You know, from Crime City as well with that Astra and that Viper. I know before when the Viper and Astra meta was actually intact on split, that was what they aimed for the most, right? Having so much util centered down in mid where it was almost impossible to get anything from it. But obviously starting off the pistol round is going to be the way to go there. BTR slowly working in down towards the A site.
I say slowly, but actually they're taking so much space now, and you can tell that this is just very aggressive. Already using the Trailblazer, scouts out the Killjoy turret at the back here, but now they know that Heaven's free for the taking, and they will do just that.
Spike down A.
Not slowly, pretty fast. Going vroom vroom, honestly, at this point. It seems like Dim Sum is feeling good with the shots. Right clicks hitting, though, tons of damage. So regardless if they run away with this pick, maybe so.
There's no way.
And a 2K from Dim Sum. A great start to the round coming through from BTR. And a quick take on the A that honestly worked out perfectly. Couché is just like, what is going on?
Ooh.
Yeah, no way. 57 health left. A right click to the head coming through from Cameron. Pretty much over.
It almost felt like at that point, you're getting to see Dim Sum Boy just be so annoying for Crime City. You're like, okay, we can just move in Heaven nice and slow. It'll be nice and easy. Oh, why is there a Viper jumping around up top? Hold on a second. Are we going to be able to do something? What do you mean they've gotten a kill? Okay, retreat. Oh, Viper's chasing us. Okay, great. Now we're down. It was just so aggressive from Dim Sum Boy. 22 HP left, by the way, and able to secure 2 kills. And just like that, Crime City, they felt themselves overwhelmed. This was a very familiar spot that we saw BTR fan club in that situation on Lotus, just not unable to deal with the aggression from Crime City. But this time around, Crime City, tied and true. 4 members moving up mid here, comp.
Will Silence run away with it? Actually, seems like so. 2K. BTR are just going to have to run it down. Yeah, they have a couple classes in hand. Better to have, you know, 2 players run that up rather than 1, but it seems like doesn't work out regardless of CC. Kind of lose themselves in the sauce a bit.
Yeah, that's #1 rule. Don't get lost in the sauce, but actually BTR fan club, they might get lost in their own sauce. They're going to be running into this Killjoy. If Renz is able to actually find a couple of kills, this would make this round worth it, given the fact that they did lose Pistol. Here comes the engagement.
Okay, jump peek is crazy, especially as Renz is the only one left standing. Yeah, they're just trolling at this point, waiting for Cameron to come all the way around the back. But yeah, flawless round coming through in that second. But the bonus round is where we really start to see, you know, what's going to happen moving forward here.
Yeah, and we're seeing a completely different look for BTR fan club on this map. Sure, you can chalk it up to compositional difference. You can chalk it up to, oh, it's a different map, but they look really comfortable off these first couple of rounds. There's a certain level of confidence that you can see players when they go in, they know that they're going to be able to win gun duels. You see a lot more jump in, maybe a couple of knives out, pistols, all that type of stuff. And BTR, honestly, they've done a good job at shaking off that last map and look like they're starting this one off strong, which is an excellent mental reset if you want to be able to force out map #3. And already getting aggressive on middle here is Sacred not going to use the snake bite right off the bat.
Pulling them in.
Actually tried to use the gravitational pull to keep everybody in and center, but CC on the defense doing a lot better than before.
One
Looking
enemy
for even
remaining.
more. 93 health to go there. Couché is not going down regardless, so yeah, they're doing pretty good. Honestly, it's a phantom type of day for Couché too. They're just gonna keep going with it.
Yeah, we love phantom gaming. Especially too, if you have an idea that like, yeah, they're probably not going to have full shields, and that phantom headshot is looking pretty good. But, you know, I thought that it was going to be the Viper who was going to be playing more of that Sentinel role. But Astra makes a lot more sense as well because, you know, you place down the stars, you don't have to be anywhere close to them, and you can just kind of deploy them so you can leave your body in these very deep positions on that defense and hope that the other team moves into you. So that is honestly doing a pretty good job right now of making things work, as Couché this time actually going a little bit more aggressive.
Again, they ran away with the win on the last map, so This time, all they're looking for is closing this out for CC. Will they be able to do it is the question. Now, so much stall potential here coming through from Couché, but now noise heard, so we're gonna have to back off here.
This is a lot of utility kind of being forced out from BTR fan club without really gaining that space. The advantages of kind of running things down and going for those gunfights is that you have a lot more utility in your pocket and you get a lot more of the map without having to use any of it. When you play a little bit more conservatively and have to use your own utility, that counts as a win for the defenders because they're just using their stuff to stall you out and you don't get nearly as much value because you're just kind of stuck on the attack.
I think what's interesting too is the amount of patience that CC has just waiting to use their util. The nade that we just saw. So much time waiting for a moment like that one just to use it in cohesion with the util there.
30 seconds left.
From CC though, Retro finding that first engagement, moving forward. BTR doing a lot better at keeping that hold off though. Left on the attacking side. Better to just wait if you're on the side of CC, but maybe getting a bit too impatient there.
Yeah, unfortunately, their swings don't work out as well as they did on the last one just because they didn't have another agent just on the other side. Dim Sum Boy in an excellent little cheeky spot, and now Couché left alone. Probably going to be backing off here, trying to save that rifle, but the enemies are going to be trying to hunt that down, so let's see how far Couché can get. Looks like it will be a successful escape, but BTR, once again, they're just looking extremely good when they decide to move in a little bit more aggressively. They're finding Crime City in these weird spots, not really able to get their crossfire set up, and then just running over them with a little bit of utility. It's a very different look on this map than on Lotus, Compers.
Yeah, good on the side of BTR too. I feel like when you're attacking on split, it's pretty easy to keep yourself nice and locked down too, so especially with the competition they have with Sanning. And I think the impatience of CC is really getting to them. They feel like they need to get a pick on the defense before, you know, they decide to really take things in a patient route.
And that's what's interesting, because we talk about patience coming out from Crime City. That is not a conversation that we've had in this entire series yet. We're used to them playing more aggressively, like on that second round when they just kind of ran it down mid. And I'm hoping that that didn't scare them off from trying that strategy. It looks like we might be treated to a little bit more aggression from this B side this time, which will at least secure them a little bit more map control. But still, it's a much slower tempo than we're used to seeing Crime City kind of run in with.
Okay, Silence. Oh, this is great though on the side of BTR. They know a possible push is moving forward. Oh, the timing.
Heard that.
I really don't like this. I hope Silence knows that they're all there. 3 players slow walking it through. Down and spawn. That's gotta hurt, but maybe this one can hurt even more if BTR can run away with some sort of pick and manage to take things back. Could it be the victory they're looking for? BTR still waiting. Cameron not wanting to let any of that noise go. But then again, let's not forget there are players still waiting around the back. 22 health left from Cameron. Damage being taken away. And again, becoming impatient themselves. BTR can't seem to take it back. Seems Retro left alone. 3v3 situation. Damage
Enemy remaining.
on the way. And Couché with that 4K just to keep things down.
And on top of that too, an excellent Cosmic Divide getting called in from Couché there. You gotta wonder, like, you know, what is the call? Maybe as soon as they are able to kind of pick out that Viper, they just isolate Heaven. They know BTR fan club always go for Heaven, so the chances are they are going to be hanging out there, and that was honestly the right call. Under the pressure there, SVL was able to get one kill before the wall came up, but immediately goes in and loses their life, and then it's just an easier retake for Crime City. On a little bit of an eco round too, there we go. SVL goes in and just loses it out, but it's once again just the coordinated gunfights when they're coming into it. When Crime City push in together, generally speaking, they're looking a lot more stable than BTR. BTR have been doing a good job at isolating a 1vx and then swinging it in their favor, but Crime City, they have to start playing a little bit more grouped up because that seems to be what the magic sauce of this team is.
Yeah, they know now that they don't really need to rush the process, though, which I like. They don't know that Cameron has an op, which is scary. So you gotta kind of get hit with the op first before you find out. Let's see who's gonna be the first one.
Nitro clears that out first, and yeah, toss up the smoke there. Keep in mind, actually, on the A site, we do see a Viper v Viper, but my question is if Dim Sum Boy is aware that Sacred is there, because I think that they're calling for that full rotate, and then Sacred might be in an excellent position to drop the spike down. And if that's the case, a lot of information is going to be given over to Crime City.
Yeah, waiting their turn. I like the patience, though, coming through from Dim Sum. Oh, they
30
definitely
seconds
saw Sacred's in such a good position to take this fight back, but it's BTR, 2 op shots as well on the side of Cameron, coming down over towards the B site. This
Spike
is
planted.
perfect if you're BTR.
Welcome to my world.
Oh, and the pit as well. Cards are stacked against them, and yeah, look at that information given. At this point, Crime City, they have to make the call whether or not they want to save here. Their economy isn't looking great, but they might at least look for a couple of kills.
Yeah, not much to utilize here in this moment, too, so. Lucas is just like, any one of y'all want to come out? I don't think any of one of them do. Dim Sum's feeling pretty good and patient there. Already getting taken out from Lucas. 2K down to it. Maybe they can run away with it, but now
One enemy
timing
remaining.
of the essence there. Rents takes another. They just want to leave it for the next round.
But you know what, all things considered, get a couple of ultimate orbs. I do believe Lucas might have the Seekers online after those couple of kills. Yeah, we'll have that ultimate ready to go, but loses a rifle in the process. So BTR fan club, they do get away with it, but you know, it was a little bit risky, and they did use their Viper's Pit. They did invest that into the last one to put the Crime City economy into the dumps. So at least that was achieved, and now we kind of go again. Of course, the Showstopper available for Cameron as well, but Cameron with that operator is going to be a problem for Crime City, and they have to be aware of that. They're going for another push out here, but Dim Sum Boy is reading them like a book, understands exactly where they're coming, tosses out the snake bite, preventing that rush from going.
Gotten some damage off of Couche, but I think now, yeah, best time to just back yourselves off. CC looking for one. One elimination. Just one with a Showstopper, which is insane that they even continue that, but it's better off Dim Sum. Man,
Spike planted.
fighting that down 1v3, almost impossible. Luckily enough for Spoof having a Vandal to take, so I mean, regardless, the numbers aren't really looking like they're in favor for CC, not to mention just having it
One enemy
push
remaining.
themselves in onto the site. Vandal left down. Now it's up to Renz, though.
There.
At this point, too, if you're Renz, 1v3, you know, the cards are stacked against you. Do you go for the save again, or do you try and get yourself closer to the Killjoy ultimate? Looks like the call is made. We'll be seeing Renz look for any exits, and well, that is also another way to get that Killjoy ultimate off online without having to really face off against Cameron or anybody else for that matter. So just looking for a potential kill. Not going to be found, but an excellent job for BTR fan club at once again taking that site, and I think Cameron is really going to be a huge problem for Crime City. They haven't figured out what the key is to really stopping that operator, and now they're going to be taking a timeout too.
Cameron is deadly on the op.
One enemy remaining.
It's the only thing I really have to say. It's looking pretty dangerous, especially with Showstopper now kind of coming on lockdown there. So, you know, there's a lot that we could use here technically on both sides. Crime City looking pretty good as well. But yeah, I'm more worried about what Cameron can do without op.
Yeah, and quite frankly, it's sure the operator is finding those opening kills, making it like a little bit more difficult, but even in some of those opportunities, like we saw on that last round, there's a little bit of a mind game going on, a little bit of a meta game being played right now from BTR. And Crime City, they're not really sure what's going on. They haven't been doing as good of a job at being able to take space on the map on their defense. And as a result, you know, they kind of get stuck being like, okay, what really is happening? And that's allowing for the opportunities for BTR to be able to really just kind of run over one of the sites. And even then, they don't even need all 5 of their agents. We saw a 3-2 split there, and they were successful on attacking on both that B as well as that A site. And so it's really tough, but Crime City, they need to be a little bit more aggressive, take a little bit more space. We saw them playing a little bit more dynamically on the last map, and honestly, this one, we need to see a little bit of that happening because it feels like they're just kind of getting stuck lately.
Oh, well. Cameron was trying to get away silently, but... Trying to push themselves back. They're keeping themselves patient down for CC, though.
Actually, I like that positioning that Couché is grabbing. They know that usually when it's this A-side hit, they always go up into heaven. And oh yeah, Spoof being able to take out Cameron, that's huge.
Yeah, quick nade to make sure there isn't any refract potential, which works out perfectly. And the U-Till now slowly moving its way forward. Now in the hands of the defense. Makes it even worse if you're on the side of BTR. So you're going to have to try to figure out a way to get yourselves onto the site. Now Seeker's coming out, giving away that information. Two players slowly working up that movement. Up towards heaven, though, having such good positioning, and Couché's just impossible to get by, even more so now, with damage moving forward down in heaven. But Ren's and Spoof now.
30 seconds left.
No. I was about to say, they're just waiting for that to happen. Sacred's in such a good spot already, getting 3 players with a possibility to take things back, maybe.
That was good. See, that was fantastic. I mean, obviously being able to pull off that first kill there, you drop the operator, that's looking good, but reinforcing one of those sites so that you can't let BTR Fan Club take the positioning that they wanted. We're getting a little bit of a replay of a couple rounds ago there, but honestly, just excellent stuff coming in from Crime City on that defensive hold. If BTR Fan Club can't get themselves set up, then they looked very uncomfortable, and they were just trying to force the issue, but a little bit of a smoke, that Viper's Wall, completely shut it down. Bladestorm popped immediately, as once again, it's just going to be, let's try and take heaven.
Oh my gosh, it's the
Awkward.
chase. It's the chase down to try to get the one, but everybody's already taken down. CC stopping the momentum for BTR.
Spike planted.
Oh no, an SVL. Yeah, position pretty much given away in a bad spot too. Nobody's there to try to get some sort of refract potential. Silence now. Alone with Lucas on the op. CC are deadly with the op pickup. They're just sharing it too amongst the others. Oh, Couché, you want it? Okay, Lucas, here you go. It's a good vibe.
Man, it almost makes me wonder whether or not, you know, hey, let's all buy operators. Woo, dual ops, it's going to be great. But all kidding aside there, I mean, just once again, an excellent hold, being so aware of what BTR do on their routing. You know, they like to push up into A. Okay, well, let's just stop that out. Put a couple of agents, make it a little bit uncomfortable. Felt like ships were passing in the night just on the other side of that Viper's Wall, but it worked out, and now BTR, they're forced onto a save. Retro will be buying up the Vandal, given the fact that the save happened last round with the Bladestorm being popped. But, okay, yep, they're going to be pushing out yet again, trying to just deny any of that A space. While BTR Fan Club, they've got their sights set on mid this time.
Yeah, well, it's Spoof's turn on the off, so what's gonna happen there? Only time will tell. But mid, not a lot of util ranging there this time around like they have in previous times before, so definitely not looking like the space is gonna be really easy to take back there. BTR, though, pretty passive on that mid.
Very passive, and a good chain of utility to really just deter them from moving in, coming out from Crime City. Felt like that they understood, hey, they might be coming here, and they were coming in fast, so let's just toss a couple of mollies, make it almost impossible to go through, and funnel them away. Now Spoon in an excellent position, goes for it, is able to find Retro.
Absolutely incredible op shot just to keep things... honestly, just to push back BTR, they're still moving up towards heaven regardless, but that's gotta really humble you in this moment. Yeah, looking for some sort of rotation maybe. Spike just getting taken down in seconds, and it's CC. Absolutely incredible, and it all starts with Spoof on the op. That is insane.
Yeah, and let's talk about that defensive hold coming in on that A site coming in from Crime City. Spoof with the op, yes, 100% a good thing to be able to isolate that pick, get really aggressive, shut it down. But at the same time, immediately just is able to back up. You see Sacred use that Viper Wall to just cut off all of the sites, and Lucas is watching it from down the lane, has that Vandal ready to go to spray things through, so even if BTR try and aggress that operator, they're going to get caught in the crossfire. That is excellent team play coming in from Crime City, and that is the level of play, honestly, we expected to see from them based off of the last map. So honestly, just praises with how they played that defense on A. Oh no.
Cameron taking that first engagement. Nice fight to it, and early information too. So they see Dim Sum was the only one there. Quick rotation, moving about towards B. So this is as comfortable as it gets for CC. They can play with this. The spoof left inside of smoke. Oh, and the timing impeccable, but still misses the shot. The op left down. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting though, because Crime City actually able to find a couple of kills thanks to Sacred. Retro trace that one back, a 1v2 now here, but Couche can't quite find that. It was chaotic, but somehow Gompers, BTR fan club come out on top.
That's incredible. I think they're it. Yeah. Honestly, just CC kind of losing their composure down the mid. It seems like a lot of the time. Guardian? Kind of getting a bit uncomfortable there for CC to kind of keep their own. But the last round of this half, so then we'll be able to switch sides, see what happens for Crime City. And BTR fan club, again, impeccable performance already moving forward on the attack.
Yeah, it is looking really good. And coming into this one, they have that Viper's Pit available. On the cross side, though, Crime City, they have both the Cosmic Divide, which they played off excellently last time, but also the Lockdown. If you want to know what is going to be able to counter a Viper's Pit, the Lockdown does a really good job at pushing that Viper away. I imagine they are going to be holding on to that. Also understanding, too, that unless you get a tricky little paint shell or something tossed on right on top of it, that Lockdown is more or less unbreakable.
Yeah, smoke dissipates, and there's not much to play with here. Before, they actually used to have Spoof waiting to utilize the paint shell there, but now that Spoof has the op, it's made it almost impossible for mid to keep their ground here. Which now, again, just having to fight this back. Retro. Man, not able to find much.
Oh, excellent flash here. The swing from Lucas shuts that down, but more importantly, guarantees that no one is really going to be pushing through mid. As you can see that the rotations come around. Lockdown ready in hand right now for
30
Renz.
seconds left.
And unfortunately, Cameron not going to be able to find too much with that operator being the only thing.
They're just attempting to really bring this home with the Lockdown. And actually moving this team back, so BTR, yeah, not looking too good in terms of trying to get this round back, but it seems like Ren's finding some sort of pickup.
Oh,
man.
that did it!
Hurt. That's gotta hurt.
No way!
That's gotta hurt.
For them.
Gompers, I'm sorry, I have never casted a round where that is the outcome. To end off the half, you use a gravity well to pull them off of the plant spot, and the spike was just about to go down too. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's a little bit of a tilter because BTR fan club were set up for success there too. Two of their agents still alive, very much able to play the retake. A Cosmic Divide available, but it doesn't matter. You just play together. You can isolate that 2v1 and you're going to win it, but just, I guess that's why you bring in Astra to split still.
Hey, switching the sides though. Man, okay. Well, Astra, we can see why Astra works out so well. I actually think that might be the reason as well that Astra might work on the post plant here, because as we've seen before, CC like to play for post plant, right? So Crime City might actually be able to just go for that sort of play. More so here on split, but it seems like not even picking any sort of sight, just more so looking for that info down in mid, though. We might be able to see some sort of engagement. Couche waiting for a peek moving forward, but keeping that patience there.
Big information actually gathered onto that A site. A guiding light gets tossed out. I imagine it might have spotted some people, but more importantly, Crime City now know where that Sky is hanging out, and Dim Sum Boy is going to get exposed, so pulls up that Viper screen. No way.
It makes it easy for them to move forward, but again, this pistol round is important, giving yourself the lead to make sure you can continue to move forward within the game, maybe even take the round. There goes CC Spoof. Crime City are just honestly killing it at this point. taking everybody down. Of course, this round pretty much more aim-based than it is utility. It's a free-for-all. Like, it really feels like a deathmatch at this Like,
that couldn't have been timed better.
Yeah, like, everyone's just everywhere, dude. Like, in places they shouldn't be, right? Like, attackers in the defense spawn. Like, this...
Yeah.
It's crazy, but Crime City, they know what they need to do.
Yeah, I mean, Crime City just doing a good job that time on their attack, taking a lot of space all over the map, and that's how you get yourself into those opportunities where it felt like BTR fan club were just not expecting them. And now Silence in this 1v2 uses up the last smoke here, but once again, look at that Astra so far away, just playing off the gravity wells yet again.
It's difficult when you're playing against an Astra, you're playing against a Sky. Like, everything is just not working in your favor. And I like it, too, because they save that util, again, for the post plant. It's just what Crime City like to do.
Yeah, and when we've been talking about Crime City playing a lot more aggressively and, you know, taking a lot more space and all that type of stuff, honestly, their utility works out really well for them. When it comes to just isolating kills specifically, Crime City with their utility is kind of unmatched in this game. But when it comes down to BTR running all over them and Crime City not having to use their utility a little bit more defensive, more in a deterrence factor, it doesn't seem like it's getting as much value to be able to shut things down. Moving into this next one, obviously the buy-up happening. Couché actually only keeping this Ghost going really aggressive, but finds one kill, looking for the second, able to find that one as well. And yeah, that site's just going to be open, just Retro up top.
Actually pulling through a little bit with the shots as well. Yeah, Spoof is just taking high ground now, trying to get around the back, actually down inside of their own territory there, take them by surprise. Retro low enough to the point where one shot could really just end their life there. Yep, there it goes. Now Peekaboo the next one, but taking back the lead and almost flawless round as well at that.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully BTR fan club didn't really invest heavily like we kind of saw on the last ones, but the fact that Couché, once again, the person who didn't buy a weapon going into that round, was able to find 2 kills right off of the bat, that's not going to be good for BTR fan club. So their economy looking very shabby. They're going to invest and make sure that they've got all their utility possible. Especially as they are playing on the defense, the utility becomes a little bit more important as a deterrence. That means lots of light shields at play here. Crime City putting more emphasis onto this mid site here, but leaving their Vipers sacred all the way onto A. The double duelists are just poking out, but not really engaging forwards.
It's a bit scary to peek forward as well. Kind of do have a sense of util being expended out there. Dim Sum missing out on the molly, so allows Rens to keep their positioning there. Crime City. And now it starts. This is where you really have to keep yourself intact there. BTR slowly getting pushed forward, but it seems like not going to be an easy take-in. Silence trying to make sure that they have everything in their power to keep the site down on lockdown. The B site for the taking there for Crime City.
Retro here.
Planted.
Oh, Renz doesn't know, but there is Killjoy utility, which will give that information away. Ren's in an excellent spot, Gompers.
Oh, I thought they had run away from death there, but Renz is good now. Okay, Retro just did not care about the angle clear coming through from the other side. They just ran it down. So now it's BTR leaving Dim Sum Boy all by their lonesome. 68 health left, too. Yeah, no util to use, so probably not the best
They're
spot
hunting.
to be. But that's going to be a perfect win, too. You're sitting on the bonus round there, and you managed to run away with that, pretty much lowering the economy of BTR there.
And I know I just said that comment on that last round where it's like, oh yeah, Crime City, when they use their utility, it's purely to kill. That last round actually was a fantastic example of that. Okay, let's be honest here. You have an Astra to pull them off the spike, sure, that's fine. But you have a lot of mollies to work with as well, specifically coming in from Sacred and Renz. Do they use it actually to play post plant? No, they actually use it to more or less drive out anybody who could be on the site and clear out every single corner possible. They had next to no utility after that spike went down just because they so heavily invested it. But that worked out perfectly because they found the kills necessary and were able to just clean up the rest of the squad. And Sacred already starting this out on the right foot. Retro already down, and Retro has been doing a lot in this map so far, Gompers.
Thing being as well, just... Man, CC not even afraid to just move it onto site there. Spoof taking a pretty big clearing. Down on the B side for Plank. Goes down now. They can play for that post plant. Not having too much util already settled down though. Renz goes down. Kind of making things a bit more difficult. Showstopper available. Not finding the shot at Dim Sum though. Slowly working themselves in. Lucas.
Whoa.
The whiff was scary, but they still managed to run away with it though. SVL around the back. Nobody knows. Absolutely no idea. Still watching is Lucas because they're somewhat cautionary. With a 3K left down. Crime City committing crimes in the Valorant lobbies.
I don't know. Okay, listen, I'll give you that if that was on the last round, but they had the weapon advantage there, so they should have won that one.
Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. That's all I'm gonna say.
They brought a sheriff. Okay, anyways, moving on from these idioms or analogies. I'm not sure which is the right word there. English hard, but yeah. This is where things get a little bit more dicier for BTR Fan Club, but also to Crime City because an operator is going to be in play. Retro is going to be the person having it this time. I would have expected to see it on Cameron instead, but pretty much that's really what made things difficult for Crime City on the last half, and unfortunately not able to get anything as Showstopper goes out to at least clear it out.
No, but I give respect for, I guess, the amount of patience that Retro had. They're still looking for even more right clicks down through the smoke. It's Dim Sum now. BTR, they've taken the round back. They are killing it in the middle of sight. Pretty much a bloodbath there moving forward. And that was such a perfect hold. That's exactly what BTR needed.
And yeah, Couche going to be moving out of this one. There's no chance of 1v4. Maybe find 1 or 2 kills, get the Cosmic Divide a little bit closer to being online, but the round is more or less over. And I got to admit, I think it was just a little bit pedal to the metal. Ooh, This is the Fast and Furious now because sure, they moved in there and they got a lot of space, but at the same time, BTR Fan Club, they packed off only a little bit so that they could re-aggress very quickly. And Dim Sum Boy just being in the right position to be able to cut so many of the members of Crime City down, and now is only a couple away from having the Viper's Pit online as well. An excellent defensive hold and the first defensive round that BTR Fan Club has been able to get. More importantly, keeping the operator online. I think that is going to be something that Crime City have to be so aware of and so careful around.
I think with that as well, you're looking at Retro with that hold coming down on B. You wouldn't think it was very significant, but it was. It held down that push coming through from Spoof. They couldn't even get to the extremities of sight because of that paranoia that came through from Silence as that hold was coming down. But here it comes, the next one. Spoof getting pretty impatient already, moving down towards the back of sight. With the Molly making it harder to hold it down. Dim Sum with everybody else alongside. Fast rotation in, but Couche still running it down. Again, slight impatience there on the side of Crime City. Still managing to run away with one, but it's the ratio of that 4v1 situation now. Kind of moving forward, that really just makes things harder to see some sort of clutch come through from Crime City.
Oh, and the information gets given as well, so Retro just going to be looking down that scope, knows exactly where Lucas is going to be going, and that's going to close out the round. But just like you said, Gompers, it felt a little bit too ambitious there. They were going so fast onto the site that they were walking through the snake bite. They made themselves all vulnerable and then just, spray through that box because any of those bolts is going to do so much damage to cut things down. I mean, Silenk's doing a fantastic job, but they try to re-aggress. They separate too, maybe trying to pull some of the defenders off. It just felt a little bit incoherent, a little bit discombobulated. And so BTR, they're more than happy to get that one. And moving into this next one, BTR Fan Club have 3 ultimates online. Importantly, Dim Sum Boy with that Viper Spit and also a judge in hand is going to make things so much more difficult if Crime City want to be able to move up mid, which they had their sights on while this round started.
Okay, I guess the run and gun works. I guess the run and gun works, and it seems like might actually, be good there, especially with a paint shell moving out to try to gain some damage. But Dim Sum runs away with her life. Tons of util expended out towards mid, though.
I'm just going to say this. Renz has been so consistent at killing people through smokes. It's been crazy. I think a majority of Renz's kills on this map were just like, oh, sheriff shot. Oh, I found a head. Cool. Neat. Uncanny, but it works out well. Silence still on site, though.
Yeah, it's still looking pretty difficult. There, Spoof still keeping CC intact. Although when you're on the post plant here, what can you do? You got 2 players watching now. SVL only having one guiding light to utilize in this moment, and barely any smokes kind of working in advantage for BTR.
Actually, this is the question. I mean, BTR fan club, they decide to go for that save, understanding they still have that operator. This was a very expensive round for them not to be able to win, but they cut their losses and back off. I mean, they invested the Viper's Pit, they invested the Seekers, but they get nothing for it. So excellently done by Crime City. I mean, that round, courtesy of Renz, I guess, just spraying through the Viper's Pit, finds that first kill, and then it just seems like BTR gets stuck in their defense. They're not too sure really where to commit, and they just get spotted out. Silence in the back had to anchor that one, but immediately just gets overwhelmed by the Raze's presence and Spoof. And now, this is looking really good. Crime City, 2 rounds away from closing out this series and continuing to advance through the bracket. First, they got Leet, and they've got BTR in their sight lines.
Yeah. CC, again, big portion of it really is just, I kind of like the diversity of their plays as well. Like, it doesn't really feel like we're kind of seeing a familiarity with the play style. It feels somewhat separated there. Retro over the off slow movement forward. Kushe's just waiting for somebody to peek, and I like this because they kind of are reading pretty well into the situation. BTR getting impatient. Now it's up to Kushe to find that pick there. Retro's feeling pretty confident themselves.
Meanwhile, a lot happening on mid here. Bit of a util trade, but at least able to get that snake bite out. Unfortunately, they do lose the Trailblazer as a result, which is an excellent scouting tool. Keep in mind, though, the flash is a lot more important to hold on to after the changes to Sky. But Dim Sum Boy and Retro come up on top of their duels, meaning that this is a very good round so far for BTR fan club.
Yeah, BTR trying not to let go. Again, the last map won out by Crime City, so if they can run away with this one, they might just be able to put themselves back in that lead. So you do have that 9-11 coming through. BTR slowly working themselves back up, crawling. Or I guess I could say scratching their way to the top. I don't know. Crawling their way to the top. Either way, it works out. Scratching their way to the top.
Is a Valorant map like a scratch card now? Is that the analogy we're going with? I'm just trying to pick up what you're putting down here, Gompers. I'm very confused.
More like a cat, I guess, like scratching their way. You know, like clawing. Oh, clawing.
Okay, yeah.
Clawing.
There you go. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense to my small mammalian brain. Thank you for filling in that gap there. This time around, Cameron gonna get aggressive, walking right into the trap that was set up there. And, well, once again, when these first picks go, they go really well for Crime City. A lockdown getting invested as well, but they're not going to be aggressing off of that. I love this hold from Dim Sum Boy, though. Very far forwards. Make sure that no mid presence is able to be found.
Oh, there's a lot of presence there on the B side. Silence just waiting. And of course, Util doesn't cash him out, but Spoof does. So now you're kind of in an awkward position. You got that 3v4 coming along, and Retro with the op going to make it even harder to try to get this retake in. So just watching now. Of course, a headshot just needed to be done through the wall. Showstopper to close things out, possibly. And the next one there, Spoof looking for the ace. And is it a possibility? Maybe so. Of course, no damage found, but Renz is going to be slightly respectful. Wait for this one to come out. Might not have been a good idea, though. Timing there from Renz. And a good play coming through from Crime City.
Yeah, and more importantly, that puts them on to series point. I mean, honestly, just a masterclass coming in from Spoof. Retro sadly has not been able to get as much value out of that operator that we were able to see Cameron get there. Unfortunately, just really good timing from Spoof. I gotta just commend it. The game sense to know when to peek some of these angles, immediately gets the showstopper, lets it go right off the bat, secures the round for the team. That is a great duelist right there. So close to getting the ace, but of course just gets shut down. Excellent little hold by Renz. And now this is for the match. Crime City looking for this final point, and it is still a full buy-up by BTR. They do have a showstopper online, but oh no, SVL right off the bat just sprays it through. Likes what Renz was doing, says, let me do you one better. Is able to find 2 kills.
Oh. Looking for more. BTR looking out for blood. They know this might be their last chance. Keep themselves in the running of the game. Yeah, SVL was looking for that ace instead. It seems like either way, BTR, pretty good position. Couché being the last one standing in a flawless round. Down to it, so 12-10. They're not out of the running just yet, but it is going to be a lot harder to keep themselves honestly fighting to take that 12-12.
Yeah, I mean, okay, this is going to be an important one for Crime City. They're coming into this, they don't have a buy. Just straight up, they don't have a buy. They're coming in with a lot of pistols into this next one. On the flip side, BTR Fan Club are coming in fully loaded, also to 4 of their ultimates online, hoping to get Dim Sum Boy's Viper Pit as well. Of course, if you are Crime City, the main objective of this round is to force out as many ultimates as you can from your enemy. If you're able to drain that out, that will give you a bit more of even playing field to make sure that they can't really force out overtime. But that is such a tough task given the difference in weaponry. I'm curious to see how Crime City play this one out. Immediately though, they are taking a lot of space onto mid. This could be the initial spot that they try to get it, but Couché with this Vandal could be the first point of entry.
Yeah, they weren't expecting them to come in that low. Crosshair placement slightly too high, but still. I think best thing you can do here if you're BTR, honestly, is just wait.
I agree with that as well. Flush out the enemy's utility. Cameron's still having that showstopper online, and now the engagement coming through.
Ooh. Yeah, Couché's not playing around when it comes to that entry frag, but it seems like now the duelist taking charge. Spoof working their way up alongside Renz, and they take a good angle on that Viper spit now coming down too, so much control. Of course, SVL still trying to find some shots here. Might just be able to run away with Secret. Last shot there. And of course, Guiding Light now down. They do utilize some of their ultimates here for CC, but it's going to be 3v3 situation. Pretty fair and even ground. Now Retro actually pulling out the Blade Storm to make things easier there on the retake. Oh. Diffusal. Kind of testing their limits. They know where Spoof is. Not understanding where the next one, though. Renz takes a good angle. And it's up to 1v1 situation. It's Renz taking the Thrifty in. And a victory for Crime City. It's only going to take them 2 games in this best of 3. And honestly, big congratulations to them. That was a fantastic series.
Oh my god, there is so much to talk about in that last round, but that would take away from the overall trajectory of the map. Crime City, big congratulations to them as they continue to make their upper bracket run. What a crazy map. I'm going to be honest with you, Gompers. When things first started off, BTR Fan Club looked like that they were the ones in the driver's seat. They were the one directing flow of traffic. They were on top of Crime City. But slowly, Crime City started to pull themselves together a little bit more. These rat angles working out for them enough on the defense to even things out, and then just steamrolling over them in the attack. Such amazing plays coming from these.
No, I think overall spectacular showing as well. Like we talked about before, it is somewhat of a new roster. So you're coming into this, you're playing Split, in which they haven't really played much of as a group. I guess I can say, I won't say officially, because obviously scrimmaging and stuff like that, very, very different. But in a tournament setting like this one, it's very stressful. You're getting streamed, right? For the, I guess not for the first time, but for the first time on this main platform, right? You're trying your absolute best while having thousands of people watch you. It's terrifying, and you're able to do it in such a spectacular way where you just run away with the series. And overall, again, a big congratulations to them. I think they played amazingly, and I am looking forward to see them move on. But of course, BTR, they're not out of the running just yet as well. This is a double elimination bracket, so we can get to see more of them. I think they had really, really good showing. It really was just that pressure of CC, again, understanding the playstyle of BTR. I think BTR might have been too aggressive for a team like CC, where they are pretty patient on the defense, and that kind of dragged them down.
Yeah, absolutely. And even when we flip over here to the player stats, I mean, the fact that Couché on the Astra is the one who's consistently getting multi-kills, just so consistent on this map, was a godsend for Crime City. On the other side, of course, Dim Sum Boy on the Viper in very advantageous positions. There were a couple times where we saw that snakebite get dropped down. Crime City thought that they could push it. Crime City was ready to just move in, and they just got mowed down. And unfortunately, BTR, I mean, you said it best. They started off on the right foot. They were looking so aggressive, but they just kind of lost that confidence as time went on. And even though they were trying to make those attempts happen, Crime City were just ready to just slap the ball right out of their hands and say, no, we're better at that than you, and we're going to show you.
Crime City were ready, and they are going to be ready for the next series as well. Of course, for you guys who are sitting at home, actually, we're not done with a VALORANT action, which is going to be obviously, I mean, who wants to stop watching VALORANT? Definitely not I, but at the same time, you're going to be having a different set of casters. I mean, Marks, before we go, do you have anything else you want to add?
I just want to say this tournament is already so heated. It's so nice to see some of these players who've been in these circuits really go for these runs, especially too, you know, you got Shopify in the bracket, you got all these amazing teams. So they're pulling out all the stops into this one, and that's made the competition so much more enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, before I head out to give you guys the next series, I do want to give you some flowers because Valentine's Day is coming up. If you guys
You had that on the side. You were waiting for your opportunity to do that. Oh, man. Okay. All right.
Will you be my Valentine? I'm sorry. Anyways, we have more very, very fun VALORANT action coming up very, very shortly. So please go grab a snack, and we will be right back with more VALORANT NA Challengers.